Welcome to the Black Sparrow Media Internet Broadcast Network.
You are listening to Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a podcast about Linux, open source, and amateur radio, for everyone. Now here are your hosts, Cheryl, W5MOO, Russ, K5TUX, and Bill, NE4RD.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. You have tuned into episode number 605 of Linux in the Ham Shack. And tonight we bring you our quasi-short topics year-end wrap-up episode. So we had a sort of special episode at number 600. We're going to have another sort of special episode of 605 to wrap up 2025. And basically the format is going to be, we'll have some guests, which are listeners, if they happen to pop in or out, and we'll talk with them. And we're going to throw out some topics to discuss, and we'll just have a little round table. And then we will go on our merry ways. No pun intended, but it is that time of year. But before we get into our guests and so on and so forth and our topics for the evening, let's go ahead and introduce the main hosts of the show. I'm Russ, K5TUX.
I'm Cheryl, W5MOO.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD. I thought I was the one that's supposed to be not sure of who I am.
Yeah, I was going to say, and Russ forgot who he was. So.
I was distracted by the fact that Mike popped in. So,
oh yeah,
sure, blame it on Mike. Yeah, yeah, or the on assignment. Yeah. So,
all right. So anyway, we have a couple of our listeners joining us tonight. One of which will be just sitting by and listening to the show. And that's Steve, and I have to switch over to see what his call sign is, KE8ALN. So thanks for joining us tonight, Steve, being here for our 605 and final episode. And, Mike decided to go to the channel we weren't recording on. So we're glad you're here. I see you're on your phone. Does that mean you're going to join us tonight? Or are you going to open up that mic so we can hear your dulcet tones? Oh, no. Apparently we called him out. I'm going to take that as a no. Well, we might hear from Mike K6GTE in a little bit. If not, we won't. And finally, joining us tonight, at least right now, in case other people decide to pop in, we also have David, K5RNL, and we know his mic is working. So good evening, David. How are you?
Howdy. Doing fine. How about you?
We're doing great. I know you didn't join all that long ago, I don't think. I remember your thing coming up in the welcome page, a few months ago? Is that about right?
Something like that. Let's see. When did I join? I joined back in October. So.
Okay, so it's been over a year. I'm misremembering.
It's been 2 months.
Oh, this October.
October, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Once kind of refreshed in my mind. I thought it was a little longer than a month and a half. But all right, very good. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, and thanks to Mike and Steve for also joining us tonight. So my idea was just to throw out some topics, and then we can just kick them around. We as hosts can talk about them as we like, and we can obviously talk to the guests as well if they want to join in and answer these questions. So I don't know if we want to do these sequentially or if I want to throw them all out. I don't know. What do you think, Bill?
Just go in order.
Just go in order? All right.
Yeah.
All right. So what I did was I just picked some topics in our amateur radio, open source, and mixed segments. But in the third segment, I combined Linux in the Ham Shack and hedonism because, we have to throw that in as a year-end episode. So normally on the short topics, we talk about amateur radio first, so we'll do that as well. And I had two topics here. We can kick them around. The first one is, have you acquired any new or interesting equipment? And the second is, do you think CW is on the rise and digital on the decline? And we're gonna call CW not digital because it isn't. It's analog modulation. It's just a lot of, noise. And digital is generally not digital either, but we're talking about things like FT8, PSK31, all of that kind of stuff. And of course, your other digital modes, like your VHF digital modes for doing your D-Star and DMR and all that kind of stuff. All of that can be considered digital. So who wants to go first about either of those? Have you acquired anything new or interesting? And CW, yes. And digital, no.
Well, I can start off here. I did get something new that I've kind of been playing with just in the past week. I got one of these Shark RF M1 KEs, and it's a little device that is basically its own hotspot and radio all in one for doing over wireless LAN transceiving. So think of it like running Droid Star on your phone, except for this is a dedicated device that is basically your microphone, speaker, and hotspot all in one, which is kind of the device I've been kind of looking for. Because there's not a lot of availability of stuff, repeaters and stuff like that locally here. And I'm not buying a hotspot to run my radio. I have two devices, and it was too cumbersome to run the phone with everything else I do on the phone when I'm traveling. So I picked this thing up, and I've been playing with it a little bit. It supports all the digital voice stuff like All-Star, Echolink, DMR, D-Star, System Fusion, NXDN, P25. I have no idea what POCSAG is, but that's something there. And APRS is built into, although I don't think it has its own GPS, because when I turned it on just to see what it would do, it put me somewhere in the middle of my town, not anywhere near my home. So a little weird. But I have played around with it. I actually connected to D-Star just to see how it would work, and it works fine. And I also tried out Echolink, and that works fine. And it's a cool little device. It has like a little lanyard hook, so if you want to wear it around your neck, you can, or hang it up somewhere, you can. And it's pretty neat. I don't know if I'll get into more digital stuff because I now have a dedicated device for it, or whether I'm just going to use it for specific events that I need it for, which would be like National Scout Jamboree and stuff like that, because we use D-Star for that. And I always kind of wanted to have something extra besides the radio that we hook to it and run the scouts through on it. That's the new device I have. So maybe my rise of digital is on the rise instead of on the decline. So at least at my house, it's not slowing down on digital. Although I haven't been on FT8 in probably a long while now. I think I did it when I first installed the new antenna, probably about like 5-6 months ago, and then I haven't touched it since. And CW is about the same for me. I haven't done a CW contest in a while, but I kind of missed some of the dates because of just kind of complications of my real life schedule and stuff like that on the weekends, depending upon when the grandkids are going to be here and stuff like that. So I think I missed all the good CW contests that I wanted to do. So I'll probably wait for the next round of NAQP CW and stuff like that. So that's kind of what's going on over here.
Well, I don't have any new hardware to speak of, so I can't really speak to that part of it. And I haven't been on the air because, as has previously been mentioned on the show, a tree limb took down my long wire, and I haven't put it back up yet.
Did you order the new wire yet?
I have not ordered the new wire, but I now have the funds to order the new wire from our previous discussion. So I will be ordering it soon. What do you mean, maybe?
Got to see the boss about that.
Oh, no. She has hers. I have mine.
Oh, okay. You have your own.
So I don't have to ask her for that.
My own what? I pay the bills. That's all the money I get.
No, the money you said you weren't letting go of. So,
Oh, ooh, ah.
well, it's enough to buy. It's enough to buy my antenna because it's like, I don't know, $65 or something like that to replace the element. So
Fine, use my Venmo money.
I'm not going to use your Venmo for crying out loud.
Whatever.
It's nice to actually have some money we can sit on for a change because it's been a while. So, but anyway, the other question there about CW on the rise and digital on the decline, I would say yes and then no. I'd say there seems to be a resurgence in CW, people who are interested, people who want to learn it, hearing it on the air. Of course, the CW online parties and things like that help to promote it, but there just seems to be a lot more general interest in CW lately, as far as I'm concerned. POTA, I think, is helping out with that because you're in situations where you're operating portable, maybe low power, and CW is certainly a good way to do that. And it doesn't require a lot of extra hardware, or it doesn't require a device to do connections digitally, although there's plenty of digital POTA out there. And I don't know that digital operation is declining, but I feel like it's leveled off. So there's still plenty of people out there operating FT8, FT4, using their DMR, their D-Star, their M17, so on and so forth. But I don't hear about it nearly as much as I did in the past few months. So I think it's kind of peaked. I don't know if it's a static peak and it's going to start going back down or if it may just pick up again later. But it feels pretty stagnant right now. It's like whoever's using it is using it, and there's not much of an uptick or a downtick. So that's my thoughts on it. The only person who's participating here other than us is David. So we'll ask you, David, do you have any thoughts on either topic either way?
Sure. So I'll answer the first part first about new gear. I was looking at getting a Nano VNA during Prime Day, but I didn't. Right now I'm spending too much money on my Forerunner, so that's taking up the other part of my free time and free money. But for CW and digital, no, I would actually say your answer is mostly what I agree with. CW is either staying the same or increasing, and digital is definitely increasing. It is definitely getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Not just FTA, not just DMR, not just D-Star. Also look at WinLink. WinLink is actually getting very, very popular now. More and more people are getting into and doing WinLink, which is a big part of digital now. They're also finding out about keyboard-to-keyboard modes like JS8 Call and VAR AC and things like that. And those are actually growing and becoming more and more popular. And also to your point there about POCSAG, think ham radio pagers. That's kind of how that is. So it's rather than tie up the microphone, if you want to know about all that stuff, talk to me afterwards. I've actually given a whole talk on DMR and all that fun jazz.
I do know some people who have often used POCSAG, and that is, but to me that seems like it's more of a non-US thing. If you're in Europe and stuff like that, they use POCSAG Germany quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few open POCSAG repeaters in Germany, not so much in the US. But it's kind of a fun thing to do, to take some old hardware and repurpose it for a way that we can use it as amateurs. But beyond that, it's kind of it's a novelty thing. It doesn't have a lot of, quote, practical use.
Well, I think a lot of technologies that ham radio has, taken over or repurposed for amateur radio use is a lot of old tech that is finding a new home in amateur radio because the commercial purposes or whatever that used it in the first place have moved on to something else, like they moved on to trunk systems or digital systems or something like that. And so those holes that have been left open have been picked up by ham radio operators, the tinkerers and the kit builders and stuff like that, and they've turned them into usable communication modes for amateur radio. So it's always nice to see innovation like that.
Yeah, but I've kind of said my part, so
yeah, no problem. Cheryl, do you want to weigh in on either of those?
Well, I don't have anything new.
A new kitchen gear?
Well, I actually don't even have any new kitchen gear.
Yes, you do. You have new kitchen stuff all the time.
What new thing do I have?
I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. You must have
Yeah.
something in there.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't have any new kitchen junk. I don't have any new radios or anything. So yeah, no, that's the end of my tale right there. So
Do you have any thoughts on CW and digital? I'm going to say probably not, but
probably not. No, but the thing is, I'm like you. It's kind of a yes and no thing. So because there are some people that are strictly devoted to CW. There's other people that are strictly devoted to digital. And sometimes those paths, cross and sometimes they don't. So you've got the people that are going to say, oh no, CW, is going great. And other people are going to say, bah, CW sucks. Digital's the way to go. So yeah.
You could be a politician. You spent 2 minutes there saying nothing at all. So
exactly.
No, that's funny. All right. I think we hit those pretty hard. So let's move on. We also don't want this episode to take forever, right? So I picked a couple of open source topics, one based on a topic we've been discussing lately, and I'm curious if our audience has anything they want to contribute about it. And that is, do you use AI? And if so, how? Because there are a lot of ways you can use AI. I mean, every search engine or utility or application anymore seems to have some way to leverage artificial intelligence, whether it's just so you talk to a bot and it answers questions for you for free, or if you use it for coding like I do, or if you use it for music generation or writing your term papers or whatever. It's sort of infiltrated everything. So do you use it? If so, how do you use it? And is AI the beginning of the end or a new beginning for the human race? I guess, which those two things might be the same thing. I'm not sure. And the other thing is, have you made any major distribution changes, as in like the ones you use on a daily basis, or are you sticking with your favorites? And in either case, which one are you currently using? So I'll throw it to Bill. He can answer both of these questions, and then I'll go, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Yeah, obviously I use AI for work and for personal projects and stuff like that. I mainly use it for coding stuff. I haven't used it to like answer life's questions or as my personal therapist or any of that stuff. So, and I use primarily Claude for mostly everything. GitHub Copilot is used for some stuff, primarily documentation, and occasionally it does a pretty good job at writing test coverage for software. And Claude, I've been using lately. I've been using it for getting our the theater that I'm involved with as the board president, redoing their website and getting it up to date and everything else. And I just actually launched the new website today at the close of our Suicified Christmas show. So I'm kind of proud that it all worked out, and I'm still kind of getting it all tweaked up so I can click the release button in GitHub and it pushes the whole site over to the host. So I haven't done that part yet, but I do have it so it automatically uses a GitHub action to deploy it on GitHub pages, so I can have like a little staging website for the website changes and stuff like that. And sorry, it's just my daughter just popped out of the garage. She was going to take the dog out, but then realized I'm recording, so she wasn't going to run the garage door up and down. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with AI. I do have Warp Terminal as well. I haven't gone back in and worked on the projects I was working on that yet. I'll probably go back and work on those over the holidays and get those back up. And is AI the beginning or end of a new beginning? Depends on how you use it. I think there's a lot of wordsmithing going on about AI and what it represents and stuff like that. It definitely is a good tool to use and have in your tool belt to simplify and engage in activities that you are probably less qualified to work on, or maybe there's menial tasks that you would like it to do that would save you time by having it do it. So again, it's it's at the in the eye of the beholder, I guess, for what you're using it for, with whether it would be the end or a new beginning. And distribution changes. I'm still running Fedora. I have the latest Fedora on this box here that I record on. I may change that out to Cashy OS. I haven't totally committed yet. I have a box running Cashy next to me that I've kind of been playing with and configuring and kind of messing with. And then I also saw there's another Fedora-based immutable system that's specifically for gaming, and I do a lot of gaming on this particular computer here as well. So I was kind of interested in seeing how that is put together. So I might spin that up on some other hardware that's similar to this box. And I don't think I'm going to change probably much. I've been pretty happy with Fedora on this box. It's been pretty stable. I can't really complain about it. It just works. So I'll probably stick with it on here, but you never know. I mean, that's what the holidays are for distro hopping. So that's where I'm at.
All right, very good. So as far as the question, how do you use AI? And do you? I mean, I know we've talked about it on the show a little bit already. I definitely use AI. I use it for a lot of different things. The very first thing I started using AI for was generating the cover slides for the LHS episodes. So at some point you can go back in the archive and you'll see the very first AI generated one. It will be clearly evident which one that is. I don't honestly remember what episode was the first one I did. But I know it was when I got to the point where Midjourney was starting to offer free access so you could generate images, and I was tired of the Weekender just being the same, text title over and over and over again. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I can use Midjourney to generate different kinds of hedonistic images for each episode. So each one will be different. And then I started doing that, and it's been that way ever since. So my first foray into AI was doing image generation. I still use it to this day. 99% of the cover slides or the cover images are AI generated. The only time they're not is if I use like the logo for a project or something like that. But even this last one was AI generated because there is an official logo for Visual Studio Code, but I generated my own just because, if for no other reason than I wouldn't be using Virtual Studio Code's most likely licensed logo. So I did that. I have used it for generating karaoke. I've used it for generating music, although the generating music is probably going to fall by the wayside. It's not particularly interesting. There's a lot of stigma associated with AI generated music. I'd rather actually become a musician than just AI generate music. So I will go in that route. I have used all of the Geminis and the Chat GPTs and all the online sort of, talk to the thing and have it answer some questions for you. And then, of course, between Claude and Warp, I've done a lot of vibe coding and stuff like that. So, I mean, I do leverage AI quite a bit. And I will probably continue to do so. It does make my life easier in several ways. So that's a nice thing. I know I've jokingly said that it will be the end of the human race in the past. I mean, it's hard to say at this point, but I mean, as things get more complex and there's more interest in AI and big companies get really deeply involved, and it may cause a huge rift, and it may cause some serious backlash. It may be the backlash we're not expecting, maybe. But I don't think our foray into AI is going to be a smooth transition from where we are now to wherever we're going. So it'll be interesting to see, but I do use it, and it definitely has its pluses in my world. So the other part of this was, have you made any major distributions? I think my switch to using Manjaro on clients was this year. So I'd have to say, yeah, I've pretty much gone completely, at least from a client perspective, I've gone from Debian-based distributions to Arch. Now on servers, I still use Debian almost exclusively, or a Debian derivative. so I keep my toes dipped into both worlds. But yeah, I am totally sold on Manjaro at this point. I don't think, I mean, unless something radical happens, I don't think I'll be switching anytime soon. I do have one machine running Cache. It is not quite as smooth an integration with Arch for me as Manjaro is. So I think I'm going to stick with Manjaro, but I mean, I can certainly function day to day using Cache as well. But so I guess I did make a major move, but I think for right now, that's kind of where I'm at. So Cheryl, do you want to answer either of these?
Sure, although mine are basically kind of tailing on yours. I do use Midjourney occasionally, although I usually make Russ do whatever I'm wanting, which is sometimes the fairly, not necessarily detailed, but I usually have a list of things I want him to, images I need him to create. As for other stuff outside of imaging, I do use ChatGPT fairly often. So yes, I do use some AI based stuff. And as far as new distro type stuff, Russ put Manjaro on my computer, and that was like 3 months ago. So it's not been terribly long. It's been within the last 6 months. So that was my change regarding that. So
yeah, and I guess your distribution changes only happen when I kind of do it and you're forced to use whatever I put there. So
pretty much, yep. So maybe Steve has some input. Steve,
yes,
K5,
Steve, KJ5T is here. He's joined us, and it looks like he's unmuted, so maybe he has something he can say.
Hey, hope you can hear me. And
Yes.
I don't have a whole lot to add. As far as the distros, as you know, I went to Manjaro this year and have been loving it and think I'm going to probably switch completely over to Manjaro. So I haven't had any issues, but maybe I'm not as much of a power user as some of the folks around here. But not a whole lot to add. I just wanted to drop in and thank you guys for another great year of Linux and Ham Shack.
Well, thanks for being here. Do you want to weigh in on the AI question? Do you use it? What do you use it for? And is it the end of humanity?
So I've been using it pretty heavily for just work stuff over the last year. So we have a ChatGPT subscription, and I ask it just to do like quick comparisons, information. It's not always accurate, and you have to kind of cross check things sometimes. I don't think it's in the end of the world. I think that the reality is. They're still just computers. They can be unplugged. I don't think there's a ton of risk right now of them taking over completely. I mean, eventually, right, when we have robots doing everything, maybe if they weaponize or something. But yeah, I'm not super worried about it in the near future.
All right, very good. I'm glad you have a nice rosy outlook on our future. So let's run over to David here and see if he has any input on either of these questions.
Sure. So AI, my answer is basically I'm waiting for the bubble to pop. I don't use it at all. Well, I shouldn't say that. I've used the chat bot for a few things and seeing how it responds and how I have to keep getting it back on track to do simple things. I'm at a point where it's okay. This is not serious technology. I mean, it can do some things, I guess, but for the largest part, it's a bit of a flash in the pan. And I don't think it's really going to get any better anytime soon. I mean, it's going to get faster, but it's not going to get any more accurate. So that's kind of my take on that one. New distros, though, I have completely cut over to Debian-based stuff. Well, I shouldn't say completely. I have converted everything user interactive here to Debian. I was using Ubuntu before, but as you've seen from my rant, I am not a fan of how Canonical does things. I've had a beef with them for a while now, so eventually I cut everything over to Debian, and all the human interactive devices are running Debian. My servers and all that jazz are running a combination of BSD and Rocky for all the server stuff. I think there is one thing running Debian, but other than that, it's basically Debian now, or I've got one box that runs Ubuntu because it just needs to run a web browser, and anything beyond that is silly. I've got and one box running LibreElec for my media serve. It basically connects to Kodi or connects to Jellyfin and serves media from there. So beyond that, doesn't need to do anything else. So that's it for me.
All right, very good. And as you were talking, Darren has popped in here, VK6EK. Let's see if Darren is able to join us vocally or if he's just here for the lurking. I guess if we see text, we'll know he's just lurking.
Oh no, he's he's donating blood.
He's a little
so.
busy.
Kind of in the middle of something. Yeah. All right, very good. Well, thanks for joining us, Darren. We're glad you're here. So we won't be asking you any of the questions unless you tell us that you've stopped donating blood. But at that point, you'll probably be eating cookies and headed home. So anyway, that's all I had in the open source world. So in the next segment, I combined Linux in the Ham Shack and hedonism, two other things we talk about on this program. And I put in a couple of topics, and we can run down through them and see if anyone wants to address them. The first one is, what's your favorite ham radio-based application, or what is the one you use most often? I think we may all be able to answer that one. The second question is, what is your hedonism of choice for tonight's episode, if you have one? I have one. Cheryl has one. Don't know about Bill. David said he got something, so we'll find out what that is. Then we can talk a little bit about that. And the third thing is how we normally wrap up these year-end episodes with, do you have any predictions for 2026, whether it's ham radio related, open source related, or just anything at all that you want to predict for 2026 that we can come back to and look and see if you were correct or not. And all right, I'll just send it back to you, Bill. We might as well have you do these first, because I'm asking the questions, so someone but me is going to answer them first. So what do you think about these three?
Let's see. Favorite ham radio based application. I guess the last one I used is my favorite because that's the last one I've used, and that's not 1mm. And it's not just because Mike's here. But I used it for sweepstakes, and then I failed to turn in my log. So shame on me. I didn't do it. And then also being able to integrate that in with Wavelog, that's been great. I love both of those. Logging is probably the heart of most ham radio based stuff. So loggers are great and important. And as Darren put in the text chat, his is Polo Logger. So there you go, another logger. Loggers are always probably the most used applications, and they're the most functional for most of the other things that we do. So very good. Hedonism choice for tonight's episode. I'm kind of just sipping on my head frame Never Sweat Distiller Select Bourbon whiskey here from Butte, Montana. It's on my desk, and I finished my LaCroix, so I was like, I'll have a few little sips of this, and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, it's nice to get this back in a cup again today, and it still tastes pretty good. I love it. Let's see, predictions for 2026. Well, I foresee a lot of ICOM 7300s, the original models, going up for sale with the new Mark II coming out hopefully this year. So that's going to be pretty predictable. Open source or just anything. I guess we can go back to predictions on AI. I'm sure we're going to have some releases of AI that are just going to be so phenomenal, according to the salesman of those AIs. But I think we're going to come to probably a lot of hiccups with AI and power infrastructure. We see that kind of coming to a slight boiling point right now, with various communities being impacted by either nuclear reactors coming back online or scheduled for coming back online to support these mega data centers. And I think the market is pushing back on this stuff. Not everybody is completely sold on the fact that there's an economy here with AI. as we've been watching the trade deals and stuff like that between the various AI companies and their vendors like NVIDIA or Oracle or all these other AWS and you name it, that are all involved in trading money that doesn't exist back and forth. I think we're unless there's some balance sheets that are going to start showing up with some positive indicators, I'm going to assume that we're probably going to have some kind of beginning, if we're not already feeling it, of a financial crisis of some sort in 2026 that will probably bleed into 2027, which would be on schedule for a nice huge dip and correction in the market. But considering how much market cap these places have and fake value, I think it could be sooner. So be ready to clutch your pearls. And that's it for me.
All right, very good. So what's my favorite ham radio-based application? I'd have to say it is the one that I use most often when it's probably the two that I use most often. I'll give a shout out for, three. It's the three that I use most often, and they're all interlinked. So I can hardly operate without all three of them being active at the same time. The first one, of course, is WSJTX, and I actually use JTDX, which is a spin-off of WSJTX, for doing all those digital mode communications, working all that FT8 and FT4. That's pretty much when I'm operating. If there's a radio on, that application is also on. And, of course, the two things that I always link to it. The first one is Grid Tracker, which keeps track of everything for me because I do a lot of digital mode work. And that's the shim in between JTDX and Wavelog. Because it integrates with everything. It handles everything I want to see, all the data I need, all the connections I want to make. So those three things tied together are my favorite ham radio-based application. It's like an application suite, we'll call it, because they do interlink, and I can't operate one without the other two. So those are my favorites for sure. My hedonism of choice for tonight is weirdly not whiskey. It is this it's called Across the Pond Riesling. It's a 2022 vintage. It came from City Winery in St. Louis, and I think they basically rebrand other people's stuff. This is actually quite a nice Riesling. It's not really aggressively sweet like a lot of Rieslings are. This one is really, really nice. I don't have the palate for wine that I do for hard liquor, and so I'm not even going to attempt to give you like notes on this. If you know what a Riesling tastes like, it tastes like that. So that's
brilliant.
Yeah, that's as far as I'm going with that. I will say it's, like I said before, not a super sweet Riesling, so it's got a nice balance. It's really good, and the bottle is already about 2/3 empty, so excellent. And predictions for 2026. Until the AI bubble bursts, we will be paying a lot more for electricity because all of these data farms are hiking up all of our electrical rates. So you can certainly expect that to be a problem. There will be, as Bill stated, some sort of probably colossal market correction at some point when everybody figures out that the direction we've been going is not tenable anymore. So it may not end humanity, but it's probably going to break a few banks. And beyond that, I think everything else is kind of going to be status quo. I'm not going to make any predictions about, political messes or anything like that. But if we make it to 2027, I'd say things are going well. So let's let Cheryl answer any of these she wants to, and then we'll ask our listeners.
Well, I don't use any ham radio related apps because I very, very rarely use the radio, much to Russ and Bill's dismay. But anyway, so my hedonism tonight is a 2018 vintage bottle of Jowler Creek Traminette. Comes out of Platte City, Missouri, which is just north of Kansas City. It's a semi-sweet wine, which I really like. It's very florally and pear. So, and it's one of the last. In fact, it was the last bottle of Trimnet we had. So I finished that off tonight. And as far as predictions, I think the economy, at least in the United States and probably the world, is circling the toilet right now, and things are going to end very badly before anything gets better. So I honestly think we're kind of heading for a Great Depression. But that's my personal opinion, and maybe things will prove me wrong. So,
all right, we have a prediction from Steve, who says companies will get sued because AI is violating copyright licenses. That's entirely possible. There are already things on the books as far as suing over IP and copyright and stuff like that, because all of these large language models and the learning technique for the AIs is basically to just look at the world as it is and take everybody's data, whether it's proprietary or not, assimilate it, and then spit it back at us. So yeah, that's probably not that far out there as a prediction. So let's see. David, we'll go to you first. Do you want to address any of these?
Sure. So real quickly to that point, there's actually a court case about that right now. That's been ongoing for a couple months. So that's kind of I think people are waiting to see how that plays out. I think you actually nailed my prediction pretty well for what's going to happen here. I would say that software will probably continue to get worse. We'll start seeing more and more. We've seen a lot already, but more and more subscription-based models come out. People want to pay for access versus paying up front. There is some trend of that reversing. People are starting to realize, if you release good software and people will buy it and they'll keep wanting to buy new versions or give you more money because you're giving a good product and not having to pay every month. There is some trend of that starting to happen. Whether or not it continues on, we'll see. But I hope it does, because subscription models, I think, are one of the biggest cancers in the industry right now. Yeah, I mean, again, I think a lot of what you said is correct from my perspective. As far as hedonism goes, actually, I've got a couple of grogs here. They're from a YouTuber called Cold Ones. They actually make a pretty decent product. My wife and I liked watching them. We see a bunch of drunk Australians do some dumb stuff, and it's funny to watch. And we want to try their product. It's not bad. So I'm drinking a couple to celebrate the big 4-0 for me. So, yeah, that's about it for me.
All right. The other one was favorite ham radio based application or what you use most often.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I guess application, aside from assuming like computer application, would be like a phone application. There's probably two that I use a lot, which is Repeater Book. Their Android app, at least, is actually very, very good. I like using that a lot because if I'm out and about and I want to see what repeaters are nearby, or if I want to look for, say, a nearby DMR repeater or System Fusion repeater, whatever, I can do that real quickly. And just a simple HF propagation app on my phone, because I can use that to, if I'm out, say, doing something in the field, or I'm at an event and giving something out live where I don't have internet access on my computer, I can pull it up real quickly to see what bands are working, what bands aren't. So a couple months ago, I was actually giving a presentation for a STEM event for a middle school, and I looked to see, okay, what bands are open, because I wanted to make sure that if I'm sending beacons out and whisper, I'm being heard. I don't want to just fire up 80 meters and find out, the band conditions are horrible, my signal's going to a black hole, no one's hearing me. But it looks like 20 meters is open, cool. So I was sending it out, and the students were seeing, here's responses, I'm being heard by Austria and South America, and fun jazz like that. So yeah, I think those are probably the big two I would recommend for actual quote applications.
All right, excellent. Good job on Repeater Book. I like Repeater Book. I've spent more time putting stuff into a mobile radio while driving using Repeater Book in an extraordinarily dangerous fashion than I care to admit. But when you're driving 1,500 miles and you want to know what the local repeaters are, you got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Steve
Blue
D.
Cat.
What's that?
Blue Cat. It's a dongle you can get for certain radios, and it will actually talk to that dongle and it'll program a radio for you.
Well,
Mostly
I'll look into
ICOMs.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, I use Yaesu. So,
Okay.
but Steve D has said that for his hedonism, he is drinking Killian's. So there you go. And we haven't heard from Steve A, KJ5T. So, want to address any of these questions?
Sure. I'll take a stab. So on the topic of favorite ham radio apps, I'm going to go with Ham Alert as the one that I probably use the most. It's a phone app, but it also is open source. So even though they have their own hosted version of it at hamalert.org, there's you could run it yourself. It's licensed under the MIT license. But Ham Alert's great because if you get push notifications from basically whatever rules you put up as for call signs you want to listen for, if you're looking for a DX entity, if there's a DX entity that you're chasing. So I use a lot. It encourages me to be on the air. In terms of hedonism, nothing much going on tonight as I just got back from the driving back from the 8 Barrel 10-meter contest. So I was eating some leftover barbecue and drinking an orange Fanta, but full of IPAs to get into over the next couple of weeks. So I'm sure I'll be sharing those. And then predictions, I'm going to go with a radio manufacturer prediction. I predict that ICOM is they just did the 7300 Mark II. I think they're going to do a 705 Mark II in 2026. So they can at least release something, do a refresh. And that rig's about 5 years old now, so it's probably due for a refresh, try to compete with the ASU FT DX1 kind of thing. So that's all from here.
All right, very good. Now, Darren says he's done giving blood. He's probably not going to be able to talk yet. But if you decide you want to jump in here, Darren, just text that you're good to go, and we'll come to you. But in the meantime, I did put it out there over on the. Oh, he says
good to go.
Oh, well, let's hear from you then, Darren.
Got to unmute yourself first.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That arm not working to push the unmute button. All right. Well, if we hear you, we'll let you come back in. So, all right. Well, actually, those were all of my topics for the evening. So I guess what we're going to do now. Oh, I was going to say that I threw it out to the guys over at Live Free and Ham to see if they wanted to come over here. Unfortunately, they record basically at the same time we do. They start an hour earlier, but their show goes a lot longer than ours. So I don't think any of them are going to wind up popping over here, but that's okay. That's what happens when we all record on Sundays. But anyway, I don't have any other pre-planned topics, so I'm going to throw it out there. If anybody has anything they would like to discuss, or if they have any questions they would like to ask of the crew here at Linux in the Ham Shack, we kind of make this an AMA and Ask Me Anything. So if there's anything you don't already know and would like to know, by all means ask or throw in a topic or whatever. And if we don't get a lot of uptake on that, then we'll just go ahead and do our announcements and social media roundup and everything and wrap this up. So does anybody have anything they want to talk about or ask? Well, we have a question being typed or a comment, so we'll definitely wait for that. Topic for other shows: remote ham operations. We did dive on remote operation. Bill, look it up real quick. What's the number?
I'll look it up real quick. I will. Give me a second. I don't even have our website open too.
Well, I don't either.
Remote. We did a remote SDR operation deep dive. That is on 588. And then we have, this is a really old episode. Back in 2020, we did episode 368. We did a remote operation deep dive. So it might be time to do a refresh. So if you have some suggestions, we definitely would take a look at that. Like specifically which tools or which hardware interfaces and stuff like that you're interested in looking at. I know we probably both do some remote operations occasionally, but it's different. Everybody does things slightly different. So, but if you're interested in something very specific, please leave us some feedback in the Discord here or the chat room or whatever. Send us an email, LHS podcast, something like that. at LHS podcast info. No, info at LHS podcast.info, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you got it. Got it in three.
I got it all there. So, yeah.
Is it working?
Yes.
Oh,
Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, yeah, good day from down under. Yeah, anyway, yeah, sorry, I had to go in this morning to give blood. So, yeah, anyway, so my predictions. I think AI is going to get really involved with radio. I think you're going to find that beacons, etc., will be automated and they'll actually talk back to you. I think that's not far on the horizon. In terms of hedonism, everyone knows I love whippersnapper. I had a fairly large delivery a few days ago, so yeah, that's gracing my desk, and I really, really love it. And Polo Logger, I do a fair bit of remote stuff, and I tried a few other different loggers. Sorry, there's a truck going past outside. Yeah, I'm in my car, by the way. Yeah. I tried a few other different loggers. I found Polo works really well on my iPad. I can do split screen, so I can have Polo on one side, and I can have the what do you call it, Parks on the Air app open on the other side, and I can do both at the same time, which works really well. I think that covers all of the questions.
well, there were a few before you showed up, but we won't make you go back to the original ones.
I'll listen to it. That's fine. No, I think just talking to the lady who was doing the blood donation, she was sort of talking about AI, and I said to her, look, and she was trying to figure out where to put the needle in. I said, it won't be long before this AI machine's going to hover over my arm. It'll have a MRI that looks in and sees the exact right vein, and the needle goes into the exact right place. I said, sorry, but you're going to be out of a job. So I think I upset her. But anyway.
I don't know if I'd want a computer stabbing me in the arm. I don't know about that.
Don't the Chinese do that already? Don't they have doctors that are already AI operated?
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. Not me, though. No, thanks.
Oh, I'll fade back into the background. Have a good Christmas, everyone. If I don't get a chance to say it again, enjoy your holidays.
Yeah, you too.
Same to you.
You too. All right. I thought of something when someone was talking about AI and, the uptick and stuff like that. And the first thing that popped into my head, because it's something I'm dealing with right now, is the fact that attacks, particularly things like ransomware attacks, are going to be all AI generated, and they're going to be particularly insidious and hard to defeat. So if you're the kind of person who's thinking about becoming a cybersecurity professional at this point, I would buckle up, because that kind of thing. I mean, just the idea that, and the AIs are already writing code, so they're going to be generating their own attacks, and they're going to be doing them very quickly and very efficiently. So keeping things secure is going to be a huge problem. It's going to be a huge industry. And it will most likely be the security companies who are writing most of the attacks. So that's my prediction there.
Hasn't that always been the guess?
I think that's kind of
McAfee was doing it years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just reading an article here too that just got slashed dotted here. The podcast industry under siege as AI bots flood airways with thousands of programs, and they're talking about specifically Inception Point AI has produced its 200,000 podcast episodes in some weeks, accounting for 1% of all podcasts published that week on the internet. So yeah, there's a ton of slop out there. If you listen to the podcast 2.0 podcast, they talk about it a lot, because they're trying to prevent a lot of the garbage from getting into the podcast index and stuff like that, although I think they're allowing some in. But hopefully people will continue to use and listen to guests, that people are real, the hosts are real, and we make mistakes, and we don't have an AI artificially putting ums and ahs and whispers and everything else into podcasting.
And Cheryl have barking dogs in the background, and
yeah. So they'll just have to replace all that, and you'll never know. But yeah, there's just a ton of garbage out there. The AI slop is real, and it's everywhere, and it's pervasive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully there will be a continuing market for human-generated podcasts, because I guess we'll just go find something else to do. But at least for the moment, this is still 100% wetware generated podcast, and will continue to be until the bots take over and Skynet has assumed control. So anyone wants to ask of the hosts or put out as a topic? And if not, we will go ahead and move on.
I will state real fast. I want a good log, get CQR log. I've used that several times. In Linux, it works really, really well. Integrates seamlessly with WSJTX and several others. So I've used that before for field day. The only problem is I've had is most of my club uses Windows, so they use write log, which is networked, and so I have to just export my log and send a file over. I was going to look at not NM1M, which I think will help with, but if you want something that works, it just works.
All right.
Yeah,
well, here's I'm gonna let me just step in and say, we know you're new here, and you clearly haven't listened to the back catalog because we've spent the last 8 years migrating away from CQR log.
Well, okay.
No, it's this is not a slam against you or CQR. It's that back when Bill joined the program, CQR log was his thing. He used it every day, talked about it ad nauseum, and we were always looking for topics to discuss other than CQR. As time has gone on, we have finally settled on solutions that are not CQR log. And if you look at like some of the YouTube catalog and stuff, see why there's some particular problems with CQR log and so forth. And so we've kind of ditched CQR log in favor of Wavelog, and we also suggest Qlog for those people who don't want to have a web hosted logger. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with CQR log. It's tried, it's tested, it's been around forever. So I will say that about that. And Bill, you were going to say something about it as well.
Yeah, we just CQR log has had some inconsistent behaviors across distributions, and in general, it has become less and less consumer friendly as a end user product. So my suggestion is to probably not use it. I used to love it. I used to use it for everything, and now I've really kind of embraced having my log up on a server and using Wavelog or what's the Cloud Log, I guess, is the other unforked version of this Wavelog. Works really well, integrates in with everything. In fact, we're going to be using Wavelog for the National Jamboree operations coming up next year. So we'll put it to the test in a much larger stance. But I used to love CQR log. Poor thing. Hopefully it'll get some updates that'll continue to help it out, and community will be involved in it. I'm not sure if the author is interested in people putting in changes and fixing things. One of those things need to go is obviously the MySQL/MariaDB backend for it. That has definitely exceeded its lifespan for usability.
Yeah. So not to take anything away from CQR log, but this podcast in particular has had a long history with CQR log. And if you decide to go back and listen to the back catalog, you'll hear all about it.
We even did a YouTube video on all the distributions that it doesn't install on. So, it's like, here's all the ways you can get it to work, but you have to go around a lot of hoops to get it to work.
So we're almost on the downslide here, but I do want to acknowledge that Paul N10G from Linux and Live Free and Ham. Sorry, not Linux and Ham Shack. That's us. That's our podcast. Live Free and Ham did actually show up to the program here tonight. So let's see if his mic is working.
Hello.
How are you? How did your show go tonight?
It went fantastic. I really appreciate it. I apologize for being so late. But yeah, we were recording our show. We were talking about FT8 Battle Royale.
Okay. Is that like a thing, or is that a thing you made up? But you can tell us all about it.
No, it's a slow progression. So anybody that's been playing FT8 post COVID, I would say, right? Originally, it started out as the FT8 off. and then that kind of migrated into FT8 poker. And it was a culmination of a bunch of different hams all contributing to this project. But that kind of died out, and so the FT8 fun went away. And Sean, W9 Fox, the ham radio dude, he decided that he was going to rekindle the spirit of the FT8 off, and he created a whole new platform called the FT8 Battle Royale. It looks like a phenomenal little game that you can play with your friends to an FT8, and you can steal points from your friends, and you can create teams, and there's a whole bunch of really cool functionality to it. So now, me being in the RV, I gotta get an antenna up so that I could play FT8 and try it out.
Yeah, you definitely do. I need to get mine back up as well. So, well, thanks for popping over here. And obviously, if anybody wants to know more about the FT8 Battle Royale, they can go and listen to your latest Live Free and Ham. When do you expect that to be out?
So that episode will drop next Monday. And if I check a calendar here real quick, it'll be the 22nd of December.
All right, fantastic. So we have just been discussing random topics here for our year-end episode. We've been talking about AI, favorite applications, what do you think is going to happen in 2026, and a random bunch of other stuff. And we've also put it out there as an AMA. And do you have anything you want to contribute? Any predictions for 2026? Any favorite apps? Any cool things you guys are doing? Plug the show, whatever. Ask us questions.
Well, all right. So I'll say this. I appreciate you having me on and jumping in so late here as I am. I am a Linux moron. I'm slowly learning bits and bits. I'm very good at sudo apt upgrade and sudo apt update -y. That's kind of my favorite command. But I will tell you, AI. I wish that I had caught the AI discussion. I'll have to listen to it on the replay. One of the things that I dove into this week is creating a locally hosted AI kind of assistant. So we've all got Bixby, Alexa, the Google thing, or the other ones, right? Where you talk to the AI and you tell it to access things in your calendar and so on and so forth, and it helps you organize your life and just kind of keep things together for you. I personally don't like having a publicly available AI have access to all of those things. So I set myself to learning how to do Python programming and trying to understand how AI works, because if anybody's been paying attention to the way that technology has been going, the focus right now is really heavily into AI, and so I think we're on a precipice where it's the right time to really get invested in it early on in the AI progression, to where it's just going to get better and better. And so if we can understand better how to make AI work for us without being, basically a marketing farm for corporate America, then we can kind of maximize AI's potential specifically for our needs. So a lot of the things that I'm focusing on my specific AI is helping me to learn Linux, helping me to learn CW, helping me to learn programming, and then all the additional kind of day-to-day, like, hey, I'm looking to go out and get a steak, and I'm in a new area because I live in my RV and I'm traveling around the country. What's the highest recommended steak joint in the area, and being able to get kind of feedback like that without having the corporate overloads kind of listening in. So yeah, I think it's a great time to get invested in AI and to really start learning it. I think it's going to benefit us in the long run, as long as we don't let it get out of hand, where we end up with a Skynet or war games type situation.
Yep, those are topics we had already touched on, and we've even mentioned things like Skynet, because it's almost like you can't avoid it when you're talking about AI anyway. But one thing we did not talk about was self-hosted AI, which is a thing, and it's definitely something I've looked at but have not tried to approach yet. Still using all the big cloud-hosted guns in that respect, but that's definitely something worth looking into. So anyway, thanks for coming on, Paul. We're going to go ahead and wrap up here. We'll give everybody a little bit of a final say, including yourself. So before we run on out of here, we'll just go down the list of the folks who are here, say if they have anything else they want to contribute, or just say happy holidays or whatever. And we'll move on to our closing here. So actually on my screen, Cheryl's at the top, so we'll let her start off with her closing statements.
Well, my closing statement, of course, is I hope that everyone has a very happy holiday and that you enjoy yourselves. That's the big thing. So whether you stay at home or you hang out with family, just enjoy yourself.
All right, excellent. And if you ever listen to the outro of this program, we had the lovely lady Caroline from the Bugcast, who is the one who does the vocals for the intros and outros. And at the very end of the outro, she says, always heed your hedonism. So we definitely want to make sure everybody does that. I'll let Mike type something by way of an outro if he would like to, because we know he's not speaking tonight. But the next on my list after Mike is David. So anything you want to wrap up with here?
I would tell you, if you want to get a good technology project out of the way, learn to self-host something. Build something that will be built that ran on your own environment. Stay off the cloud and try and make it work. You'll learn quite a lot, and you might realize, oh, this actually works pretty well without having to use outside technology.
Yep, I do almost everything self-hosted if I can. And if you are of that bent, you should definitely subscribe to the subreddit /Home Lab. You'll find lots of cool things on there, and people can also answer questions about self-hosting things because there are lots of like-minded individuals. So anyway, thanks, David, for being here. We really appreciate you coming on and giving us your thoughts, and hope you have happy holidays.
Thank you, too.
All right, as I move down the list, the next on my list here on my screen anyway is Bill. So what do you got, Bill? Oh, wait, well, let me hit Mike here first. Mike says, oh my God. Okay. AI is a great new avenue to get pwned, locally hosted if possible. Yes, I think we're all of that mindset. So anyway, Bill, you're up.
Yeah, definitely. Maintain your code bases without the, API keys and stuff like that visible in your code. Use your environment variables and everything else. Everybody, hope everybody has a nice, safe break. We're gonna have a hopefully nice, safe break. We're just getting out of our quick little snowpocalypse here in Montana. We had 12 inches of snow the other day, and today was 42 degrees. So there's a lot of melting going on, which is nice. So we're kind of looking forward to a nice, calm holiday season without. Hopefully with some snow for the snow, skiing and stuff like that. But hopefully it'll stay off the roads, so people traveling and everything else will have nice, safe travels. So, that's all from here.
All right, very good. And that cold air that hit you with Snowmageddon is here now, and it's moving out tomorrow. And then we're supposed to have 2 weeks near 60.
Wow.
And I'm all for it at this point. So. Anyway, the next on my list here is Paul. We're back to Paul. So anything you want to tell us, plug the show if you like, over there at Live Free and Ham, or just happy holidays or whatever, or questions, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Russ. Again, thank you so much for inviting us over here. It's a shame that I'm the only one that came, but I'm Paul, call sign N1OG. I'm lovingly known as the Grouch from New Hampshire on my YouTube channel. I put out ham radio content and pretty much just kind of anything that's going on in my life. So it's a lot of skydiving and different things that I'm learning. I want to say first and foremost, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody. I hope 2025 was good for everybody, and if it wasn't, you know what, 2026 is a new year, and so set your goals, create a plan to how you can achieve your goals, and learn Linux, because man, I'm really after playing around with Linux. It playing in the Windows environment, I get so frustrated because I'm like, I just wish there was a script thing that I could just type in the box and it would just do the thing that I want it to do. So yeah, learn Linux. And so thank you guys for having a wonderful show and for teaching us new Linux things all the time. It's greatly appreciated. And again, thank you for having me. And live free and ham also. Yeah, is my other thing. But yeah, have a wonderful year, everybody. Safe holidays, and yeah, don't worry about the family drama. It'll pass.
All right, very good. Well, thank you for admitting that you've drunk the Kool-Aid. We'll give you another healthy hoping in 2026. So have a great holiday. Thanks for being here, man. And let's move on to the next person on my list, which is it's kind of unfortunate that Darren's actually at the bottom of the list, because that seems like weirdly appropriate. But anyway, let's move to Steve, KJ5T. Anything you want to wrap up with?
I'll just say what I said earlier. Another great year with Linux in the Ham Shack and the podcast, and looking forward to 2026. Happy holidays to everybody, and have a happy new year. And for those that we'll see in Hamvention, that is getting closer. So looking forward to hopefully making it this year as planned, and getting to see some of you folks there. So again, have a happy holidays and happy new year, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, fantastic. Yes, we're already booked into Hamvention, hotels booked and everything. So we, of course, will be there in 2026. And Paul says he's going to be at Hamcation and Hamvention. So we will see the Grouch. We won't see the Grouch in both places. We will definitely see him at Hamvention. And the rest of you who get to spend some time down in Florida for Hamcation will get to see him there. So fantastic. And last but certainly not least, our favorite listener, or our most frequent listener, or something like that. We don't want to discount all the other listeners we have, because we know there are a few down there in Australia. We'll bring in Darren here, VK60K, for some final thoughts.
Yeah, hey guys. Darren here. Just want to say happy holidays, whatever flavor floats your boat. It's bloody hot down here. It was like 40 nearly yesterday, so that's in Celsius units. So yeah, it's a bit cookie. We had a really nasty dry lightning storm overnight that set a few fires not far away. So yeah, we're on fire watch for the next 3 months. And just want to put a plug out there for the 17th and 18th of January. I know we don't really have a show here before then. That's Support Your Parks weekend for Parks on the Air. I'll be certainly getting out. There's a few over this way that get out as a group. We try and do a 3 for one in Perth and one in the southwest, so a bit far to travel. And yeah, like I've just had a new appreciation for what you guys do and what you've put together over the last however many years. I've been listening to since not far after the beginning. Like I've just taken over as producer for VK6ARN, which is West Australian amateur radio news. And just getting the show together each week, because it's been going since 1931, and it's a bit of a weight on my shoulders. So yeah, I have a great appreciation for what you're doing. Anyway, that's all from me. 73s, have a good holiday season.
All right, thanks, Darren. We really appreciate that, and good luck with VK6ALN. That's a cool thing that you're doing down there, keeping that running. And we're into year 18 now of doing this show, so it's been a while, and we've been doing it almost as long as podcasting has been a thing. And we are not one of those AI generated pods, and we are not any of these celebrity flash in the pan pods. We have been around since the very early days. We were doing it, as I like to say, before podcasting was cool. But anyway, I will just say 7-3 to all. Hope you have a great holiday season. And before we close the show, we'll bring Cheryl in here to read our brief announcements and a few folks who joined us on the social medias.
Cheryl wasn't ready for that.
Well, Cheryl's going to get ready now, right?
Yeah, Cheryl's getting ready now.
Okay.
Duh. I didn't realize the Discord wasn't open. So.
Oh, and by the way, Darren, we will have a show before the POTA thing. Our next episode will be on July 11th. So, or
January.
January.
Yeah.
11th. I was like, I heard
Riesling's going to your head.
Yeah, I heard myself say July, and I was like, no. Yeah,
that's a long break.
That is a long break.
We'll see you after Hamvention.
But anyway, yeah, help support the show over on Patreon, PayPal, buying some merch, and checking us out on YouTube if you can. Even though we're going to be gone for almost a month, we can always use that support even during our downtime. Things still have to run while we're not sitting behind microphones. So if you can, we'd appreciate that. And in the meantime, let's have Cheryl read this rather short bit of social media roundup.
Yeah, our social media roundup is very short this week. We have no subscribers on Patreons. We have no free Patreons. We have nobody that's joined us on Twitter or X. No one on Instagram. On Mastodon, we have James O. On Discord, we have Do Flaggy. On Blue Sky, no one. Mailing list is RMRF, my ex.
Which is a great joke. They joined us on social media earlier on Discord, I think. If you get RF my ex, kudos to you.
And for the live chat, we have David, K5RNL, Steve, KE8ALN, Mike, K6GTE, Tony, K4XSS, Steve, KJ5T, Darren, VK6EK, and Paul, N1OG.
That's right. Somehow Bill was shirking his duty and did not include Paul in the list. So I will put it. No, you didn't. He's not.
Paul is right there.
I think you need to refresh your connection.
Oh,
yeah, it's in the list.
Oh, okay. It's just me then. So it's my bad. So. All right. Anyway, laugh it up. Laugh it up. All right.
Maybe if you use Linux under that box instead of Mac, you know.
Hey, I'm using Windows right now, and even mine updated. So
I'm using Mac OS, so we're all over the place here. Anyway,
yes, we got all three covered.
Yep.
All right, 7-3, everyone. Thanks for joining us for episode number 605 of Linux in the Ham Shack. Linux in the Ham Shack. Boy, I got to drink some more wine. Yeah, so this has been that episode, whatever number I just said, our year-end wrap-up.
605.
No, I know what it was. I'm just...
Oh, okay, just checking.
Yeah, our year-end wrap-up of 2025. Hope to see you all again in 2026. Like we said before, our first episode will be recording January 11th. See, I got it right that time. So we'll catch you all then. Have a happy holiday season. Spend time with your family and friends. Enjoy this thing we call life. Heed your hedonism and all that good stuff. And we'll catch you on the next episode. So for episode number 605 of Linux in the Ham Shack, I'm Russ, K5TUX.
I'm Cheryl, W5MOO.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD 73.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a community-sponsored podcast. Live recordings are Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Central Time. Our homepage can be found at lhspodcast.info. You can support the podcast via Patreon at patreon.com/LHS podcast. We're also on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Mastodon. Contact us via email at info@lhspodcast.info or via voicemail at 190954777469. That's 1909 LHS show. We also have merch. So until next we meet, remember to always heed your hedonism.